take off to great heights. It's all so small and all so far away.
What up, Hyperchange? Welcome to another episode. Today we're going behind the scenes with my favorite musician, Sam LaChow. He's a Seattle rapper producer right from my hometown. I'm a huge fan. He just put out his new independently produced album, Corduroy. So I thought this would be such a cool opportunity to go behind the scenes, learn from him about how he produced his album, how he thinks about launching, music, videos, and just being a creative in general in this era to use, Spotify, YouTube, and Twitter to launch your art and communicate directly with your fans. I think Sam is just on the cutting edge of that. He's, on Instagram Live, chatting with his fans. He's putting out amazing videos on YouTube. He drops his album on Spotify, like truly the digitally native artist. So today we have an amazing treat. We're gonna go pick up Sam, cruise around with him in the Tesla. I don't think he's ever driven the Tesla, so that should be a lot of fun, and learn from him, all about the inside scoop of the music industry in 2020. Let's roll.
Spaceships take flight, stay hidden in daylight and outer space. Take off to great heights. It's all so small and all so far away.
Ready, man?
Hell yeah.
What's happening, dog? About to crash this motherfucker. Okay, so where's the fucking gear?
So just pull that down, and now you're in drive.
Boom. Okay.
And yeah, it just drives like a normal car. It's fast as shit, so...
I gotta be a little careful. And
it's
quiet as shit.
Yeah, it's electric, bro. 100% electric.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Right? And you just know where you're going. Like, you don't need to, look at your phone and shit.
So good. Oh my god.
So what do you normally drive?
I drive whatever the fuck I have. My last car was a Subaru. Loved it. I'm really not a car guy, but I'm about to, for my first time ever, lease my first car, so get something nice.
Wow.
I've always just Craigslisted whatever the fuck, buckets.
Yeah.
Just because I don't give up. I don't care about looking cool in a car. All right, just signal, just boom, and that did it.
Bam.
Man, so I got some questions for you too.
Yeah, shoot.
So I gotta fix this. Oh my god.
Yeah,
so
fix it up. Make sure to customize it.
There we go. All right. Have you met Grimes?
No, I've not met Grimes, honestly.
Not met Grimes.
Nah.
How many times have you met Elon?
3.
Three times?
3 times, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does he smell good?
I didn't get to smell him, honestly. Yeah.
He looked good though? He was classy?
He looked good, yeah. He's got like a Superman vibe to him. Because he's like 6'6". And
he's tall as shit.
He's just like a big ass dude, yeah. But he's really just chill. Like
not intimidating?
Not intimidating, just kind of like a really just nerdy guy, honestly.
Yeah.
What you'd expect, yeah.
That's fucking awesome. So how rare is the car we're in now? Like how new is this one?
This is the Model Y. It's the new one. It's like the Tesla, pretty much all the work that Tesla's been doing goes into this thing. The most mass market, practical, you can fit the kids in it. It's the safest car you can drive.
And it's out.
And it's out, yeah.
All right.
So
that's all the questions I got, baby.
Yeah, but yeah, no, really I want to talk to you because the other big thing I've been thinking a lot about is Spotify. And investing in that, and I'm just a big fan of their mission, help creators monetize their work.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you're doing, this whole album Corduroy. I'm assuming you produce that independently, kind of you're not
all
with the
independent. I could go on and on about that.
Yeah, that's what I want you to go on and on about.
We good.
So what does that mean? You pay for the studio time, you pay for mixing.
So this one I did it all out of pocket. So I went on a tour that we did 59 cities in 63 days.
Wow.
Which is
shit.
Yeah, and we made a lot of money, and I used that money to fund this entire album. So when you fund the whole album yourself, you get to get paid back before anyone else gets paid, right? And you get to own everything.
Yeah.
So I go through a company called TuneCore, and they're kind of the best. They, distribution companies, TuneCore is one of them. You give them your shit, they put it on all the platforms, including Spotify, Apple Music, everything.
Yep.
And for the longest time, I was making TuneCore a ton of money because they get a percentage, and I didn't even know anybody there that worked there that could help me out. And this is the first time that we finally got to connect there, and someone to email and someone to put us on playlists and shit like that. So that's going way better. But Yeah, Spotify and Apple Music. That's how I make a living.
Wow. So you upload it to TuneCore, they distribute it to everywhere.
Yep.
Damn, that's so cool.
Put on TuneCore, you just got to make sure there's no samples. I mean, you can get away with a couple little samples. I got a couple songs that I'm like always a little scared. Whenever I get a weird email, I'm like, oh, they caught me. They caught the sample.
And I'm so curious about like your music videos and your strategy there, because I love your music videos. Like, been following for so long, and to me, that's what makes your like, you know, your song is like a whole world. Like, that's what you're creating with every song, and you bring us into that world with your videos.
And
I feel like
that.
because you really control the artistic side of it, that makes it so unique and so your own flavor.
This'll be sunny, your cap hill if you drunk. Look, gas, brake, spin, dip out. Huggle, let the figure shit out. I'm not gonna do what everyone thinks I'm gonna do, and fucking flip it out. Yeah, oh man, colder than a snowman's.
Like, that's why I think it's kind of a weird analogy, but like, what I love about Tesla, everything's in-house. Like, batteries in-house, self-driving software in-house, powertrain in-house, and that's why it's so much doper than everything else. Like, they tailor everything and control it, and that's what I feel like your music and your videos are. And that's why I'm like such a big fan. So I'm kind of curious if you could tell us about like your videos, and because I love like the visuals you put out.
Do you like the new shit?
Songs. Yeah, I love
the latest Sunday.
Yeah.
And she could be everything I hope for. Deliver me the remedies, I'll never leave my sofa. My buzzer might be broken, just go in, the door is open. I'm sorry, I know I told you tomorrow that I'll be sober, baby. Oh, want it, we're on right now. I hope you're welcome to the song right now. I'm happy after Saturday's done. Lady Sunday, I'm so glad you could come. God damn it, I'm done.
I mean, honestly, my favorite music video is 23rd or On the Block or something.
Yeah.
It's one shot.
Yeah,
and you like dap up everybody, and they come in with like the trumpet, and it's literally like one shot.
On the block, 123. On the block, my city. On the block, 123. On the block, my city. I used to look up to dudes that used to hook up the weed. Now they rapping and I'm selling them beats. Whatever, I'm home, baby. I'm gonna get it on, baby. I'll be over in it.
Shit like that. That's kind of like I was inspired by a J. Cole video who did that. But shit like that, it's so dope, but it's also like doable. Like, I don't need a huge budget for it. You know, I just gotta. It's a lot of work. You gotta get all your friends ready and shit. But I love that you know, those kind of videos where it's not. You don't need money for it. It's just you gotta have the vision.
And so do you like shoot those videos? Like, you do it all yourself, or like how does that work?
So I usually have someone else shoot it. Like lately, because I'm not up to date with all the new cameras and shit, and it's too much to keep up with. But I still edit all my shit. Wow. Editing is sort of that's been my passion. And shooting music videos was my first gig, you know. Before I started making a living rapping, I was shooting videos for gangster rappers in Seattle. You remember that, Scramble?
Oh yeah.
Big time.
Wow.
Right around here.
Damn, that's awesome. And so now you actually make enough money from the music to really like, you're just totally independent. You can do your art the way you want to do it. Like,
yeah, it's pretty incredible, honestly. Right now it's a little tough because all my tours are canceled, and all the shows are canceled, and shows and tours are a huge way, you know, a huge form of my income.
Yeah, and that helps you expose you to new people. You sell merch there.
Oh yeah,
like,
man.
All the
That's what I'm struggling with right now with this new album, is how to give the album legs. Like, legs meaning like how to extend it. You know, because it's out now, and normally you would tour the album, which, like, you know, keeps the album buzzing in different cities for a long ass time.
Totally.
So now I'm trying to figure out ways to do that without being able to tour. And it's like all sort of like live, Instagram live shits. Fucking probably gonna put out some more music videos from the album. But honestly, what I have to do is once the album starts the buzz starts dying down a little bit, which it inevitably will, I gotta just start putting new shit out. And so that's what I'm working on.
Wow, so you're already on the
Oh, I got the next single ready. Oh, that's what we're gonna bump.
Yeah, no, dude, I loved it. I was
loved
like,
it?
holy shit.
Let's go.
Like half your time, I'm like, half the songs, I'm like, damn, this is like too funky for me. But sometimes they have like this kind of like pop thing where I'm like you have one song called Coyotes.
Yeah,
I'm like, dude, this is like a pop hit on the radio.
I've never still in love. And I've been doing this and that and all of the above. I'm feeling like I'm a drug and all these women are fiends. I've been with a couple soldiers, I've been with a couple queens. And I love her when she hold me, but I don't love her. She telling me I'm her only, but I don't trust her. I'm being honest, I'm sick of dealing with petty problems and party drama. All she wants
Like, I just had, like, I don't know, those are my favorite
I love
Sam
pop
LaChao
music.
kind of songs. Like,
I love
those
catchy
poppy,
melodies.
like,
I'm always going for a catchy pop melody, and,
Yeah.
and I try to infuse that with, like, you know, real rap shit and give it my own style.
So how do you describe your style? Because I'm so curious if, like, is it like funky rap? Is it, because you're so musical
It's
too,
so hard
you
to
know?
say because every song is like, I have funky rap songs. I have sort of like Bay Area type beats. I have songs with no rapping at all, with just like Ariana singing soulful songs. Like, I'm all about variety. I need my album to have as much variety as possible. I want my listeners to, when they're playing my album from the beginning, to have no fucking idea what kind of song is going to come next, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of shit nowadays, you know what trap drums are about to come next, you know? You know, like, at least, you know the vibe. And I think I'm kind of inspired by the old Kanye West albums, like the College Dropouts and shit.
Yep.
Every song on those was like its own thing, a completely different, you know, you went to the next track and you did not know what to expect. It might be a weird fucking chopped and screwed Paul Wall song, you know?
Yeah.
And that's always been my thing.
Wow. And so how do you get creative inspiration for these kind of new sounds? Because I've noticed that with Kanye, like every album. Yeah, I took it out of chill mode for you. This is the real shit. This isn't even the performance.
And it
either.
won't crash into him?
No, it will. It will. It definitely will.
You're 100% correct.
Yeah. But it's the safe, like, if
At a
you
certain
crash,
point, I'm gonna
it's
have
the
you
safest
drive so
car.
you can just fucking zoom. My friend Campbell's in the car. I'm mad at him right now.
What's up?
Yeah, he is a little mad at me. I fucked up.
He came to hang out with me, like a good friend.
Sam blocked my phone and blocked me on Instagram.
I
Wow.
blocked him on everything like a little bitch.
It's all good. We've been.
Is the beef squashed or?
Well, we gotta talk it out. But
We
yeah,
still
I
gotta
sent
talk it out.
like I almost dropped flowers off at his house yesterday. Like dead ass. I was like feeling so.
Well, it was funny
shitty.
because the beef was fully on, but then I was like, I unblocked him. I was like, yo, what are you doing right now? I'm about to be in a Tesla. Let me pick you up. I was like, we'll talk about the bullshit later.
Yeah. Well, I sent you a nice email.
You sent me a nice email.
I sent you a nice email.
I sent you a kind of.
But it's like, I mean, we've been really close since we were like 12.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Crazy.
It's
Should I just keep going this way? Fuck it.
yeah, I stay
Yeah.
on the boulevard, dog. This is like the
We
best.
stay on the boulevard.
I just drove up.
So, okay, so basically, I used to only make money when the album would come out and people would buy the shit on iTunes or physical copies.
Yep.
They'd buy it, I'd make a decent chunk of money, and then I wouldn't make anything else because they already had it. Now, they still buy it on iTunes and the physicals, but none of them actually listen to that shit. They all listen to it on Spotify and Apple Music.
Yeah.
So now, every time they bump it, I get something. So streaming's been huge for me. I know a lot of artists talk about like how fucked streaming is, like, you know, how they give such a small percentage.
They're whining. Like, Spotify is not making that much money, honestly, at the end of the day. And I feel like they're trying to
I mean, I'm
pay
sure they are.
as much as, like, or did you see that Daniel Ek quote about that? The CEO of Spotify came back and he was like,
What'd he
artists
say?
need to pump out more music and stop whining. Or like, and I was like, honestly, like, I kind of feel that in some ways.
It's kind of
Like,
true. I mean,
but I don't know. Yeah, what do you, I mean, you're actually
I mean, the
doing
shitty
it,
part
so.
is being independent is just there's gatekeepers. Like there's people that can just put you on playlists and get you 1 million streams immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But to like be in with those gatekeepers, you got to give fat percentages. So in a way, I'm probably making more money than, you know, a lot of way bigger artists that are on all this shit because they
Yeah.
have to give like, you know, maybe 70% of everything because they got 50% to the label, 20%
Totally.
to their manager, and then everyone has to recoup for the cost of the videos, which are like could be $100,000. You know,
Holy shit.
like there's definitely like some artists that are like not household names, but like way bigger than me that aren't making the money I am, and I'm not making a ton of money at all, but I just get to keep it.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
it's a function
that's
of
awesome.
margin, right? It's probably better for you now, right, as an independent artist than maybe it would have been, like, let's say 10 years ago.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
Just purely from an accessibility standpoint.
Yeah.
Because you can get your music to anyone at any time, and you can leverage a lot of things for free, right, as far as marketing and promo goes.
Right? And do you feel that, like, being lucky in some way of, like, you're an artist in this era, you don't need to convince, like, a record label exec, like,
is there a cops
this is
behind
the
me or
sound,
anything?
like,
So many cops, Doug? 100 cops.
Shit.
right, dude?
Oh my god.
I could have made it bought for $2,000. They sell this app
That got my
update
heart
that makes it go
going.
faster, like
Go
0.5
fast. Why
seconds
would you ever
faster.
need to go faster?
Right, dude? It's insane.
All right, I'm gonna let you drive so you can really go, because I'm sketched about cops.
Yeah.
And then
Dumb green Yoda, listen to Love Sosa, mix it with the soda, now I'm dancing on the sofa. My favorite food is sushi, a side of edamame. My favorite group is Outkast, my favorite rapper's Andre. If I finish my career before my album was out.
Yeah, so it's just all about basically whatever cool shit I'm into, like startups, tech companies, and then I just make like basically videos about it.
Oh, so
So-
YouTube's your main...
Yeah, like it's totally YouTube.
Oh, I got questions for you about
and
that.
then
Shit.
it's like, yeah, it's fucking awesome. So, and then I have
Damn.
Patreon. Actually, that's one thing I'm really curious that, because you do Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, you're crushing it, Instagram. I'm curious what you thought about Patreon. 'Cause I'm sure you
Yeah,
must have thought
okay,
about it.
I got a lot of.
Because that's how I make most of my money, is Patreon. More
So
than YouTube ads.
Patreon is basically they ask you to do, they commission you to do things like.
Yeah, or, I mean, they don't. It's basically like a monthly, like people can
they
subscribe.
subscribe.
Yeah, and you can give them no reward. They can just support at any amount. That's
Yeah.
how I started.
And then you just got to show a little ass and.
Yeah, or not, like literally nothing. Like they just want to support. They're like, Sam LaChow's music's dope.
So
I'll
why
give
the
them
fuck
$5
aren't I
a
on
month.
that? Like, what is the downside?
There is no downside. I got on it because I was like, I don't want to ask people for money. Like this isn't going to be a good
Yeah,
look.
yeah.
And then one of my subscribers was like, bro, like I fucking love your show. Like get on this shit and I'll give you $20 a month.
But what could I do?
And then,
I could maybe like leak little behind the scenes
like
shit,
bro,
or
if you just sent an early track to all your Patreons, like I would
Boom.
love, like boom,
Yeah.
like exclusive merch. Like you subscribe at $20 a month for 3 months, you get this T-shirt that you only get like.
Yep.
You know, there's tons of, you can get creative. That's why I think Patreon's so dope, because you can just.
Hell yeah. So, man, oh yeah, there's so much I could talk about with this type of shit.
I got a
but-
question.
yeah.
What's your favorite platform? Because you use all this shit,
So I fucking
It's OnlyFans, right? That's probably
OnlyFans.
right?
Is
I didn't
definitely
even know you're on
mine.
OnlyFans. I gotta check out your.
I was
content, guess.
considering getting on there and just seeing what happened. But fucking Instagram's my main thing, but I don't love it. Social media in general kind of fucks with my head a little bit. I try to keep it a business and try to not make it
Yep.
too try not to slide in too many DMs and all that shit. But right now, honestly, have you heard of Community?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm actually an angel investor in Community.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I got into their round because I
Yeah.
thought it was dope. I noticed you put the number and you can. take a
Yeah,
text
so
me.
I'm lucky enough that my friend's older sister, who I've known like for my whole life, is one of the main people that, like her and Ashton Kutcher, like two of the main people that started it. And so she got me hooked up early with like a good price and shit.
Wow, because they had like a wait. It was like really hard to like.
40,000 waitlist, something like that. Yeah.
shit.
How lucky. But it's been kind of a game changer because, you know, it's essentially a mailing list, but instead of my mailing list gets about 10% click rate, and Community is like 98. You know what I mean?
Holy shit.
So right now I think I have like 2,000 contacts on my Community. So if I drop something new, I can mass text all of them at once. They get a text to their phone, you know.
Yeah.
And I can personalize them. I try to talk back to them personally as much as I can, because sometimes I get people responding like, "Man, this mass text ass motherfucker."
That's so dope. And then you're like, nah, I'm here.
No,
I'm
but it's
here, bro.
awesome because, like, you know, Instagram cock blocks and like you post something and who knows how many people will see it.
Yeah.
But the people that really care, now I can text them all at once. So when I have new merch, the shit sells out before I even post to Instagram.
Wow, that's so powerful.
Yeah, that's huge. And when a touring starts, I can just look up, like, say I'm in Minneapolis, look up who's in Minneapolis. If our tickets are low, you know, be like, yo, you motherfuckers better be here. You know, just text everyone in Minneapolis. It's amazing.
Wow, that's so powerful.
Yeah.
And I gotta think
It's definitely
that,
the new wave.
like, there's so many of these new. See, the car's driving itself now. That's why it's going so slow because it's like worried about this guy. It's like, see, it sees.
You're not
right
doing
there.
anything.
No, literally, like my feet, is turning too. It just sees this guy, so it's like I'm telling it to go 27, but it's stuck. It's like
realistically, how often would someone not put it on auto?
So this is all beta, but on the highway is when you're really supposed to use it, and that's the game changer. Like I drove to SF a month ago, and I'm on autopilot 90% of the way.
No
so like I'm
fucking
not
way.
stressed. Like
Are you
I'm
on
just
your phone?
chilling. I mean, you're not supposed to be.
Yeah.
But you're totally on your phone. Like I filmed like half my road trip video. Like, dude, it's gonna change lanes, and then I like stopped. I was like, shit, I probably shouldn't be doing that. Like, but it's crazy. So now he's gonna go. It's gonna speed up to 27. Like I'm not doing anything, you know. And so, and then it makes me do that to know I'm there. This shit is crazy though. But anyway, I was like, community, that's the perfect example, because what I feel like, even like what I'm doing with Hyperchange, like, okay, I'm not making that much money now. It's just Patreon and YouTube.
Hyperchange is your YouTube channel.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. And it's mostly YouTube and Patreon.
Just, yeah, it's YouTube and Patreon. That's how I make money pretty much. But I'm like, okay, in the future, maybe Instagram rolls out a monetization, or maybe community has a thing, or like, there's a bunch of other things I'm like scheming on, but like, these new online platforms keep popping up and giving people like you and me ways to kind of interact with our fans, monetize, engage. So I feel like you're always like, you're ready for the new thing, whether it's community or the next thing, you know?
I try to be, and then something comes out like TikTok, and I'm like, I'm not about to fucking do these fucking TikToks.
Yeah.
But like, my manager wants me to, and I'm just not into it. But you know, I probably should be on everything. You know Gary Vee, the classic.
Oh,
like,
I love, dude. He's what inspired me to start, because I didn't. I was just investing, and he's like, bro, dude, start a YouTube channel. You know?
Yeah, it's sort of cliche, but he actually inspired me to like just continue putting content out. Because like the more content I put out, the less scared I am to put more out. You know.
Yep.
And then you're free. Then you're free to experiment, do, you know, fail, make, you know,
totally
make weird shit, you know, make shit that your fans might be turned off by. But at that point, you can, you know, you're free.
Because I feel like you don't do that many interviews, honestly.
No,
like,
I don't at all.
It seems like you don't like talking, you know, like.
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable doing it, but I'm that's like my next thing. So that's why I wanted to talk to you about YouTube, because my next thing is sort of podcast / vlog. I want to do like a once a week, whatever it is, chatting with LeChow, or you know, some shit like that.
Yeah.
Of just me, because my fans love it and they always tell me to do more. It's just hard to get. I need to like set up my YouTube channel better and make sure I'm doing it right. I got to have the slight clickbaity titles, and I'm sure you know all about.
Yeah, no, I think you don't need clickbait. That's some bullshit.
Well, you need the I can't fucking think of the name. The cover,
like the banner and that kind of thing.
Yeah. You need it to like look like, you know.
Oh shit!
Whoa,
see, like it's just driving itself around. Like,
damn, it did that itself.
Yep. Like it's like so for a second I'm like, whoa, fuck. Like, you know, like, you gotta, but. Yeah, that's.
And if you didn't touch anything, it would have just made that.
Yeah, no, I didn't touch it. I got close. Yeah,
wow.
But like, dude, that's yeah, because I think a Sam LeChow podcast would be crazy. I was even thinking like a Seattle, like, because it seems like you're so plugged into the Seattle scene, like Sam LeChow with all the Seattle people, like all your features. Like
I definitely do interviews and stuff. Yeah, that's kind of my next venture, honestly. What is that?
Take control.
Take control of me.
Yeah, right. It kind of like it can freak you out. If you're not ready.
Is consistency big on YouTube? Do you post every Friday, or is it whenever the fuck you want to make something?
I need to be way better. Like I can do so much better, but I do like 2 or 3 videos a week usually. Yeah, but it's super inconsistent. Like it might be a 2-minute video, it might be an hour-long podcast. Like just kind of whatever I'm doing. So. And
you never really know what's gonna get traction, right?
No.
It's kind of just.
And whatever
content and see.
Yeah, and you never want to like follow. Like that's my motto. It's like I'm trying to lead and do my own thing, and that's why people fuck with me, because I'm like leading and like finding these companies early, telling it my way. Like that's why people follow you, not because it's like you're your own, you know. So I really try and keep that focus of like.
Yeah, and like because you know there's part of me that it's been a thing my whole career. Like I know there's things I could do, gimmicky ass shit I could do that would get my subscribers up. You know, I could do fucking reaction videos, or I could, you know, do like those dumbass white kid raps at McDonald's, and you know, and it's awkward as shit. Like I'm not gonna do that. That shit isn't artistic to me. It doesn't interest me at all. I'm, you know, it kind of hinders my career a little bit, but I just want to make the art that interests me. But I'm trying to find a way to also, you know, incorporate the sort of algorithms and you know, the thing, you know, the consistency, you know, have a little, you know, get my vlogs up, you know, play the game a little bit, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so how do you balance that? Because I don't know. I feel like most.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Right, because most artists get so like, I feel like they're not good at keeping their own sound. But I feel like you are so good at keeping your own sound.
I have no interest in doing anything, you know, that's not what I want to do. You know, my sound. My sound's going to change all the time. I'm going to incorporate the new sound with my style. You know, especially the song I sent you. Yeah. That's very like, you hear those trap hi-hats and shit. Like, it's very kind of new school fucking, what, you know, all the shits, but it still sounds like me, you know? Yeah. So I mean, it must feel good to be in the place where like you can really create the shit that you want to make. Like, there's no pressure on you. Like, yeah, you got the resources to do it. Like, that seems like... No, I'm in a really exciting place right now, artistically. Like, my album's out, it's doing well, and now the plan is I have a whole bunch of singles I'm working on, a new single with a video every month until it turns into some sort of album. You know? Wow. And that's awesome. And I've never focused on singles. It's always been focusing on albums. And when I focus on a single, it's I'm loving it right now, because you get to really hone it, and you know, because when you know that that's all they're gonna hear, you got to make sure it's dope. Because like with an album, you can kind of get away with like, well, this is just like a middle of the album track, you know, like it sounds good with the album, but when I'm doing singles, you know, it's a different thing. Yeah, and the whole album like idea seems kind of outdated. Like, you got to make 12 tracks, drop them. Like, it's only like that because you had to put a CD that people wanted to listen to for an hour. Like, there was no reason why you had to drop 12 songs at once. And now I feel like people are like, wait, that was a dope song, track number 11. Nobody cares because I put out 12. So it got way less attention than it should have. And I'm not maximizing like my marketability on Spotify. But if I put out one song every month, I'm like keeping my shit fresh in my fans' minds. Like, it's kind of a new way. And that's like, sort of the debate that goes on between like artists and the industry is we like making albums, but obviously, like, you know, who's a huge artist, like Post Malone, if he, instead of putting out an album, put every single one of this, because every song he makes is like radio friendly shit. Oh yeah. So if he put every single one of those songs out on their own, probably would have made him a lot more money, and I would know those songs, you know. But since he put an album out, there's a ton of songs on there that I'll probably never listen to. But I don't know. But then there's artists that I like to think that my fans want an album. They want a collection of songs, you know? Because they go together in some way. And how fun is it when it's an artist you love to get not just one new single, but a whole bunch in a row that you know. Oh yeah, and you're about to like, I'm about to chill out tonight. I'm about to chill out and see what this motherfucker just came up with. Like, I don't get excited like that these days very much, unless it's like Kanye West. Like, I remember when Yeezus came out, like, because I don't know, it needs to be something that that I don't know what to expect, I guess. What else, Ryan? Well, no, I was just thinking about that, like, when you think of it in terms of like an album, right, you think like a cohesive like body of work that's like representative of like time and place, right? And so for you, like with Play Pretend or with a couple of these last projects, they were really representative of like where you were at. And it's harder to do that like in a single. You don't get that like sense of place or sense of like mood, right? Yeah, and it doesn't represent a time like, of my life. Yeah, it's, I mean, it's harder to represent like that deeper level of artistry just in a single. I think to your point about marketability, I mean, yeah, that's a huge upside of releasing things as singles, but I think like, especially Sam, you've got fans that have like been rocking since the beginning and like followed this like journey, right, of like where your head's at, where your art's at, where you're feeling, you know, all these kind of things. And so an album is sort of like, they get a sense of like where you're at, right, and like how you're feeling and what you're thinking about and the shit you're going through. And I think that's, you know, you can represent that much more sort of like completely and cohesively in the content or in the form of an album. Yeah, right? and I want to make songs that aren't single style songs, you know. I want to make songs like on my albums I have songs that I love, but they're not something I would want to release on their own. You know, they're kind of random or goofy or or just.
So that's interesting. Like, I'm interested. Like, what do you think when you look at a song and you're like, I wouldn't want to release this as a single? Like, what goes into that like decision making calculus? Like, why not?
Yeah, I mean, the simple things would be like, all right, this is kind of a 2-minute song, like just kind of talking shit over a beat that would sound really good, like right in the middle of an album, just a little kind of break. But I'm not going to release this on its own. I want this to be a little fun surprise, you know?
Interesting, okay.
But I'm also still learning. Like, Lady Sunday was my first single, and that was an obvious one. The hook was catchy. It was sort of safe in a weird way. Like, that sounds shitty to say, but it kind of had a Sam LaChao, what they were expecting. And I put that out after I'd kind of went on a hiatus. So I wanted to drop that first, but then I wanted the next shit to kind of come out of nowhere, so, you know, so they wouldn't know what to expect next. But yeah, I don't know, maybe in the future it'll turn into just singles, but...
Well, yeah, no, I think there's something to it. Yeah, I think there's room for both, and I love what you were saying about like that time in your life, capturing like that whole like telling a story.
Yeah.
For me, it means so much. Yeah, whether it sells or not, it's what I like to do.
Well, it's authentic, it's true, right? And I think at the end of the day, like that is what the only thing that really separates good content from bad is authenticity, right? And so regardless of like, you know, when you talk about like playing the game, I think you're in an interesting position, Sam, because you're not coming into this like a new artist where you have to like play into keywords or like SEO or all this bullshit with something like YouTube that a newer artist would. Like, you kind of can just put out whatever you want, and if it's honest, your fan base that it exists will gravitate to it, right? And then, you know, like from their growing fan base, obviously in 2020 is an interesting proposition, right? Especially not being able to tour, not being able to like, you know, but you can still, I mean, I think again, like just by way of the sort of like accessibility of a lot of these digital channels you have access to, like you can reach whoever you want, whenever you want.
And another thing that I realized about albums is, especially with Spotify, I put out these singles, right, and they started getting a lot of traction. Every month I put one out, and then when I put the album out, all those songs are on it, right? And it kind of breathes new life into those songs. So it gives all those songs a second wave, which was awesome. Oh, because
you already put some as singles already. So in some ways you already kind of got
like 5 songs from this album out.
Yeah, right?
Way before the album came out.
Like the Sunday one.
It's Lady Sunday, the one with Travis Thompson, 15 Pennies. And you know, and I just promoted the shit out of them. I think it was my homie Saul. You know Saul?
Yep.
He kind of told me, because I was like, dog, I want to just put the album out all at once. So like, because like I still think like, God, imagine if my fans heard all of these songs at one time, like hadn't heard Lady Sunday yet, hadn't heard 15 Pennies. They would be like, this album is fucking bonkers. But and you know, that's kind of what I wanted. But then Saul kind of told me like, no, don't think of it that way. Think of it that you're actually just shining a light on more songs. You know, giving them their shine. And then when it comes out, it gives them a new way. Like, I had a lot of people say that they like 15 Pennies a lot more now where it is in the album.
Interesting.
You know, that kind of stuff. And yeah, and that's cool. And that's a new thing for me.
So one of my favorite things about your songs is like the features. Like, Ryan, you've been on some tracks, right?
Oh yeah.
Low life stranger than that mash hall click. Yeah, there's something very special about this sweet and this brew. And it's all we talk about because it's all that we do. But between me and you, I got a soft spot for many things. Chow hits, gums, puff, bud, pop, silly beans, bats so big that my swish might bust. And you need 12 fucking fingers just to grip my blunt. I twist a nice Dutch, Captain like crunch. And I know these plush berries taste sweeter than your lunch. Done.
And so like you put all your friends on songs, and like, I don't know, I just love that. So I'm curious like what goes into like that whole process of like how you get a feature and like how you think about that.
A lot of things go into it. It's how I grew up. We all came up rapping. Rapping with people, it's a social thing.
Yeah, it was like circles at parties.
Yeah, and it's just a social thing. It's way more. I like, even if I'm not featuring rappers on my songs, I'm collaborating with people. I like it to be a social collaborative thing, and then two, like, I'm lucky enough to have all these insanely talented people around me that like can really fucking rap. You know, I don't feature people just because they're my friends. I definitely have friends that would wish I did that. But no, I care too much about my music. It's got to you know, it's got to work.
Well, in my experience, like just like working with you and like watching this process for, you know, as long as we have, like you'll hear something and like sort of have an immediate sense of like who you want involved, right? And that's like the ear, right? Like this person would sound good here.
Yeah, so that's another thing.
Like the timbre or their, you know, cadence or whatever it is, right?
Yeah, so that's the other thing is I write these songs and construct these songs, but not for me. I'm writing them, I'm thinking of these hooks and thinking of who could sound good on them. Maybe it's the type of song that I should only have one little verse on because my voice doesn't work all that well with the sounds of the beat, you know, so it's all about that. So like, you know, for instance, Ryan, like he has a higher voice, higher cadence rapping style, and it contrasts well with mine. So if it's the kind of song that like I want to go back and forth, he'd be a perfect person for that. And then something like the Lady Sunday hook. We wrote that hook and tried a lot of people on it. And then when Dave B tried to sing it, we were like, oh, that's who it is, you know?
Wow.
And like, I'm just trying to make the best music possible. I would never sacrifice the song just so that I could be on it more, you know?
And that's so many micro decisions. Like, how do you, is it just like you hear it and you're like, this feels right, and you just follow that like intuition, or?
Yeah, it's one of my biggest strengths.
For sure.
I'm not like the best musician by any means. I don't know the technical side of things all that well. I can't sing for shit, but I can construct a song, and I can know how to keep a song entertaining. And it's something that a lot of people lack. There's a lot of people in Seattle and just everywhere that they can wrap circles around me, but they can't make a song really. It's harder for them. They think that they need the beat to just kind of loop, and if they're rapping over it, it's hot, you know.
Yeah.
And it is for some people, but I need beat switch ups. I get bored.
Yeah, and one of my favorite lines you have is like, I beatbox the drums with no MIDI. So I'm so curious if you could tell us, like, is that just on some old tracks you did that?
I want to do that. I still do that
like,
a lot because I'm just always trying to find sounds that you can't really just get on a computer, and a lot of times that'll just be a fucking you know,
yeah, like
something weird.
Yeah,
and I think I got that from Timbaland. That's how he makes all his beats. Every one of his beats has like him breathing and shit in it, and I love it.
Your favorite Sam Lachab music video? Because I think all your music videos are just crazy, like so unique, and like they all are like, they're all just so amazing in their own way. Like it's almost like the video is as much a piece of art as the song is. Like it feels like you put that. So I'm just so curious if you got a favorite.
Well, there's certain songs that I know need a video, or they don't even really work for me. Like for example, like the latest 80 bars.
Got King Kong on my squad. Ding dong, baby, who want problems? Has-beens had your chance to have me canceled. It's a damn left-handed bandit. Huckleberry had to pass the game down.
So it's a very different 80 bars. It's all original beats, but the video might be one of my favorite videos, just because it's weird, it's artistic, and it I don't know, we kind of went all out, and like a lot of people heard the song first and they liked it, they fucked with it, but then when they saw the video, they understood it, because you know that's what they were going for. And it's interesting because some of my more high budget, like really good looking videos are not my favorite at all. You know, some of my favorites are just like the simple ones.
So you're gonna give us one?
Yeah. What, let me think. What videos do I like? I've always loved Banana Good Pie video.
Yeah, that one's just like a classic.
And it just took me forever to edit, and it was like worth it. I didn't think it would be worth it because I didn't know what I was doing really with the faces moving and shit.
That I feel like was one of the first videos you did that like there was a lot of production value. Like I remember going to that shoot and being like, what is this? What do we do? There's like dollies and shit.
Yeah, it was a little more, it was definitely, but it was still so makeshift. Like,
oh, for sure.
We did a lot of it just in the homies' trap house and shit.
It was ambitious, I think, right? More than...
Yeah, but that all came in the editing room, like what kind of made it. And then I really like 15 Penny's video just because I love the simplicity. I'm really into long shots. And the 15 Pennies, each verse is just a long pan towards me.
Gun and a bunch of drugs, I got skunked. Drunk on the 8th of November, thought we were done, son. The night of the election when the Trump won, but never felt a punch, I can't get up.
Well, I'm doing it, and I don't know, there's something interesting about not having a lot of cuts. Depends on the song, though.
That's so. Like when you describe yourself to people, it's like I did shot the intro before
So
this.
hard.
I was like producer, video guy, like like what do you even say?
Yeah, I think producer is the best word, but in sort of the classic sense of the word. Not that I make all the beats, but that I produce it. That I bring everyone together, and
Well, you own the vision like top to bottom, right?
Yeah, which is technically what a producer does.
Exactly.
Like for a film, that's kind of what a producer does, and the director. But with, but you can say a producer is just the one who makes the beats. Yeah, I don't know. I combine elements from different types of music I love, and hip hop's sort of my favorite genre.
We're also like big movie guys too, right? And so that, like, at least as long as I've known you, like,
yeah, visual.
The visual component, like I think you touched on this earlier, right? Like it's not just sort of like, sort of like a requisite for a song because it'll get more play. It's like an extension of the emotion or the feeling of the song.
Yeah.
Right? And so
it's cinematic.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. And to have like a visual component to the art, like, really deepens the connection to it, right?
Yeah, but something that I'm still learning is, and it's been true for a while, like the more money you put into a video and the more, the higher the scale of the video, does not necessarily mean it's going to be better. It can mean that, but some of my most popular videos were by far the most simple to make, just because sometimes people just want to see me enjoying my song and kind of expressing the song how I see it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I like too when I'm watching a rap video. I don't really need like a fucking storyline, some dumbass to be continued.
Yeah. I want like some real shit about the song.
Yeah, and I want to see the guy. I want to get to know the guy a little bit, and
So, okay, to end it, I'm really curious what you kind of think of the future of the music industry, because I feel like it's kind of at this turning point of like the independent musician like you, Corduroy, like that you guys are having your moment of really taking off and not needing the main label. So that's so exciting. And so I'm really curious how you see this all evolving, like,
You're right.
yeah, totally.
Actually, I can even give you this story. Like, I was talking to this guy, John Cunningham, who's like watching the show, and he worked with XXX Tentacion, that guy, and he had he was telling me that he had this crazy vision for the music industry about like how your song is like a world, and how in the future like music was losing market share to like Netflix and content that was way more immersive, and it's because it was only audio, and you really need like a visual component to go with the art, and that's kind of the true form of the art. So I don't know, I'm just really curious to see where this all goes, because I see this kind of merging of like song with your music video getting into VR, like each song is like, or even albums, like creating its own world, and that's kind of where the content's
I mean, if you want to talk about like VR and shit, that's a whole nother, it's definitely going towards that in some way. But when it comes to just dealing with the industry, like the labels, they're going to keep trying to find ways to kind of block independent artists from really being able to hit a point. And but it's becoming more and more clear that this is the future, is being able to do whatever you want. Owning your masters is a huge thing. Chance the Rapper is a huge one.
That was Taylor Swift got into that whole shit about that, right?
Taylor Swift got into the whole shit about that. Because, man, imagine you make a hit record, you sign this deal or whatever, and you don't own any of your music. So 50 years later, you have to ask someone else to use your own song in something,
Oh my god.
That just sounds miserable to me,
So artists are definitely going to own their own masters, and you own all yours. That's like the huge benefit, right?
That's something I have to, yeah.
Yep.
And it's something that they used to be able to trick artists into signing off their masters, because the only way to even put a song out anywhere was to have a label. Like TLC is a huge example. Like, they're like, sign this, we'll make these songs, but they didn't see a dime from the music. Yeah. Because they needed them, they relied on them. So like, it's kind of a bitch having to fund my own album. It's a lot of fucking money, but now I don't have to. Now it's mine, and I don't. There's no one I have to pay back. There's nobody. Yeah, it's freeing, and I think freedom in art is everything. So that's a good way to close it out.
Perfect
I think.
way to close it, and it makes me so pumped to see that you got like you're able to do it and pull it off in your own way. Actually, fuck. There's next time I wanted to show you this. We didn't even have time. Which is the fucking Tesla has their own like beat making studio software.
Oh my god!
But so that's next time. But yo, we gotta get your 30-second review of what you thought of the Tesla.
30-second review, and then can we play the song one time?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But what did you think of driving the Tesla?
Well, okay. What's a good 30-second review?
Did it live up to the hype?
It lived up to the hype and more. It was. I'd never driven. This is my first time driving a Tesla, so it was my first time experiencing just a silent object that goes fucking faster than anything I've ever been in. So that was a trip. Still not used to the self-drive shit, but it freaks me the fuck out. But am I allowed to curse in this? Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Ryan, what do you think of the Tesla?
I mean,
it drives. I don't know. I want to make it sound better than it.
No,
but to me, it kind of drove like a car, but it was quiet and way faster.
No, re-review. That's what we want.
Okay,
yeah, that's perfect.
Oh, so I don't have to. I'm not trying to hype it up.
Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's a car.
It sucked, you know.
It didn't suck at all. It was fast as shit and silent. And this is cool.
Sam drove like a 95 Buick for like the first 5 years I knew him.
Yeah.
This was just kind of like, whoa, that's silent and fast. I'm used to, you know.
Yeah.
But I've always been a point A to point B kind of guy. But once I get a nice car, I'm sure it'll all change. Then I'll be like, oh yeah, this is.
Once you can make beats in your car, dog, it's over. It's over.
I don't know if that'll ever happen. Maybe.
Yeah, no, it's kind of whack, the beat software. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie.
Let's play this shit. I just want to hear the speakers.
This is gonna be your favorite feature. Yeah, ready?
Yep. Start that motherfucker. Turn that motherfucker up. Hold on, I gotta record this.
I'm so alone in my bed. I'm so alone in my head. I don't wanna go anywhere. No. I'm so stuck in this house. Can't get up from this
Tesla,
couch.
baby.
I can't figure this out. Whoa.
Hey!
Why does everybody look so happy here? How does everybody seem so goddamn fine? Don't they know the end of the world is tomorrow? And I don't wanna waste more time. Why does everybody look so happy here? How does everybody seem so goddamn fine?